This is a Poeartistry Gold Moment by the author James Lynch.
Welcome to the Poeartistry Gold Moment, Perceptive Readers. I want to share something special for all you who create with your imagination. It is a happy experience, something that you've been able to enjoy in life. And you know what? There's actually been known cases where persons were so creative throughout their life. Let's name Vincent van Gogh for one of them, that in their art, in that frame of mind of itself, history books, biographies, letters, etc., shows what type of personality that they truly had inside. It was no trying to cover over who they were or what have you. Why? Because they weren't even thinking in that way. They were just expressing themselves through their letters, their writings, and their art. And yet, if you were to gauge some of the audience around them, they were the most despicable people, to say it lightly at times, for who they were as a person. Even though, as history really goes to show, they weren't that at all. Now, with that being said, there are some artists that even down in the 20th century that talked about a specific challenge that they experienced in creativity. And when they talked about this, I can almost very much guarantee you they were talking about it on another level as well. And I'm going to tell you what that level is. I don't have to get too specific, but the point is, the people who know will know. David Bowie, I realize what a lot of people think about him, from a range of good all the way to the exact opposite of just how much they loved him. All the same, in a very truthful interview or interviews, he would state the reasons why he would not allow others to, you see, curtail or maneuver his creativity in this way or that way. And it's because he knew it would lose something. It really still wouldn't be him. And the point is that even though the world will argue about that at times, this is my extra statement I'm going to say towards this. And we have to take it towards a business, a professional, a respect and dignity level. See, with David Bowie, as you know, if you paid him for something specifically to do, then that's what he did. You just have people today that keep trying to get something for nothing from you at times, and they very well, even ethically, principally wise, shouldn't even do it that way. It is a form of stealing, but I'm not going to go into that. The whole point is, it's not that David Bowie would be such a, if it's a woman, they call them divas. But if it's a man, again, there's another name that they may describe that, make it seem like he's obstinate or what have you. But no, the point is, humans will request you to do things at times that they really have no business. Now, they can request it, but they still don't show a smartness or a saneness of mind or understanding as a citizen to respect when you say no. So then people like David Bowie, from what you gather from those interviews, he just wouldn't listen to it. Okay? Keep that in mind. There was another man, made television sitcoms from the 70s. He was a Jewish man. And he also, in his creativity, not only wanted to show the plight of all classes of people, but at times he still noticed maybe the way some of the shows, if you will, were going with actually relating history of even his background or what have you. He didn't fight against that. What he did was he was just determined to make his sitcoms the way he wanted to make them. And even though he would set aside some time to listen to what persons wanted in this way or that way, you know what else he said? That he made up his mind was that no, he was not going to always just be changing his mind like that left and right. And it was interesting because of the way that he expressed it in one interview. I almost felt like, I still feel like, man, it's coming out of nowhere. But then when I took it to another level of what he was talking about, of the statement he made, I said, this is probably what he's still referencing. What am I talking about? He was just saying that he wasn't going to keep up with all the suggestions in this way or that way. He said, because then you just end up losing anyway. Now, isn't that interesting, the way that he expressed that? And so guess what? Even though he was known to be very hardline in that way, with still his very calm personality, when he made a decision, hire, fire, what have you, people just didn't argue with him. So he was able to, like David Bowie, just ignore it. Now, why am I emphasizing about the ignoring factor? Because I'm here to tell you today that now in this age of technology, of spying, you hear me always talk about people who have gone into the fields of studying the human mind, the human anatomy, waves, vibrations, spirituality, and stuff like that. I tell you today, people can do things on a level that, yes, they would downright say, boy, now that's just plain magical. And yet they know how to do it. And you can actually tell people on the everyday street about some of this stuff, and they won't bit more believe you at all. And yet you still got the ones higher than even the higher education that know it's very much possible. It's very much utilized in the world today. And so with that being said, that we have come to this spirit of the air time now, where I tell you what, to be a creative, where you may already say, man, I got my room, I got my brushes, I got my little space here, I can do my research, I can do this, and just be in my own little zone and just ignore everything else. And yet, they have now found ways to get around that as well. Some will know exactly what I'm talking about. So here is my point. You are a reasonable human being. If you're reasonable and you say yes, and you let your yes mean yes, you're fine. If you let your no mean no, you're also fine. And I wouldn't let persons I won't allow, you may anymore sometimes have to still deal with the proddings, but I tell you what, I wouldn't allow still someone who want to misuse the good principle and the good words of what's being said, whether it's secular or spiritual, to turn around and make you feel like you're making a bad decision in this way or that way, even when it comes to charity, all because you do still have some persons that if they have their way, they wouldn't have you express your artistic creativity. They won't have you express your goodness. They won't even have you express anything about spirituality, and they wouldn't even have you express charity. And that's a fact as well. Be yourself. Thank you for being on this Poeartistry Gold moment. Take care.